I am everyday people. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Ooh. It's a family affair. I take a picture. I don't know the words for that. Go ahead and start the show. I don't know the words to Family Affair. Do you know the words to Family Affair?
Hell no.
You got your brother smoking drugs outside. Sister in the house trying to find a bicycle to ride. It's a family affair.
Oh, wow.
That's how I go, right? You got 2 blunts and a nickel on the corner. You don't know your father and you don't really wanna. It's a family affair.
Wow.
That's not how I go. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. You hear my slap voice? It's a family affair. All right, go ahead. Let me put my socks on. Start the show. Good morning, and good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Who Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah. This is your chance to get updated on all things black through black to black, building the new blueprints of black, one blunt at a time, one new blueprint at a time, one brother at a time, one sister at a time, one nibbling at a time. You feel me? Got to get all of them, okay? The federal government not recognize them, but I still see you, baby. Yeah. Okay, when I look at my demographics, it says 40% male, 40% female, 20% other. That's what it says. That's what it is. I see you out here. But before we make another step forward, let's make sure we're saying good morning to the fresh RAM of my life, okay? To the restarted computer of my hard drive, okay? Good morning to the lady of the house. How we feeling?
Good morning. I'm cool. How are you
cool?
feeling?
We good? What our frame rate looking like? We at 29.97?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is it holding steady?
Yeah.
All right, cool. You know, here's what happens. You know what I mean? The further you get along with your technological advancements, you feel me? The more things that can go wrong. So I feel like, you know, Tuesday might have been the worst produced show that we've ever had. I'm not even gonna hold you. I look back at oh my God. Before I hid the video, I look back at the replay. There is a moment, I don't know what the fuck happened, but there is a moment where I'm talking over myself. Like the audio is so glitched, it sounds like I'm fighting for mic space with me.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Wow.
It is crazy.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
That might have been the worst one we had. Now, we've had some worse looking ones.
We've even had some ones where I mess up the transitions or like cut the videos off too soon.
But man, Tuesday was bad. So with that being said, today is going to be a bit of a strange episode, I think. It's going to be somewhere between a redo of Tuesday and the new Thursday episode. We might have some things, we might be missing some things, but we have a great conversation for you going on this morning. But before we get to that, I want to give a huge shout out to the Washington Informer Bridge, okay, WIBridgeDC.com or at WIBridgeDC on all social media networks so you can go know what's going on. They just did the 35 for 35, the 35 under 35 recognition ceremony. They did it at the MGM over in the other part of PG. Definitely go check out that issue. It's the printed version of the 35 and the 35. Want to give a huge shout out to the media prints, Just One PR, and of course our partners at the Washington Informer Bridge. Appreciate y'all for seeing the people who are doing the work in the city. Also want to give a huge shout out. Make sure you go check out the new Blueprint newsletter. That's BeMo Brown. That's Substack.com. It is the written machinations of everything that we do here right on the show. We are going to get back to our written machinations this week. You should see something coming into your inbox between today and tomorrow on the new Blueprint newsletter. Okay, we also want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor that we'll talk about later in the show, our good people over at Stash Logics. Make sure you go check them out at Stash Logics. That's Stash Logics with an X. Stash Logic has all the sustainable materials that you need to keep your stash safe. We'll have more details on the stash giveaway so you can get some of BeMo stash at the end of the show. And then, of course, as you see on the chest, we have a new sponsor alert. We got a new sponsor in the house. We got our good people over there at Khalifa Kush. Make sure y'all go check them out at Khalifa Kush. We're going to have a special presentation with them at the intermission of today's show. Very important project that they got supporting. They're supporting us here at Wake and Bake with BeMo, so we want to support them as they support another organization. We'll talk about them at the intermission. Shout out to my people over at Khalifa Kush. Okay, Khalifa Kush apparel specifically. Get you right, get you dripped up and dripped out. People, niggas still saying dripped? Did I spell apparel wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Appreciate that, sweetheart. Appreciate that.
Right, Aperol spritz.
Aperol, I did.
Damn near.
Damn, Aperol.
Oh.
Who we got in the house?
That was cool. As I was making the edit, it updated it like while the lower third was still there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
So people can see my spelling mistake in real time.
That's crazy.
Lovely.
I tried to turn it off. But we got Jordan in the house.
Hey, Jordan, what's up, man? Good morning. We got Jordan in the house. That's what's up. Welcome to the show, man. Anybody else in the house or just the three of us? Is just three of us in the house?
I think so.
We in the house. Okay, make sure, just as a rule, we're saying as you come in the house, make sure you're saying good morning to the lady of the house. I'm optional, but make sure you're saying good morning to the lady of the house. We have some, what's up?
Is there a G in front of Khalifa Kush? In the at? Or is it just Khalifa Kush?
No,
okay.
No, there's no G.
Okay.
What's the G there for?
I don't know.
You can change it up. Yeah, Jesus.
You want to do it again?
Nope.
Okay.
Because that's not the ad. We'll do the ad a little later. Okay.
Okay.
There's some great things we want to talk to you today. Okay. It is Thursday. Oh man, we don't have a Paul Robeson Negro of the Week, but we do have our.
We have a nominee.
We do?
The song.
You got the song?
Shit. I mean, I got it on Instagram.
We'll see what we can get together. Oh, Lord.
It's okay.
Oh, Lord. But we definitely have our Black in the Day news segment. We'll hear from the lady of the house here shortly. We have a few things we want to talk to you about. We want to talk to you about LeBron, the billionaire ball player. If you were here with us on Tuesday, we're going to do that segment in a better way. We're also going to talk about the new rules of discrimination. Are we going to do colonization today?
I don't think we need to.
You don't think we need to? Okay. And what's my third topic?
You said the new definition of discrimination, and then Sly Stone.
Oh, new definition of discrimination with Sly Stone. We're going to talk about the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. Yeah. That's what we're going to do at our intermission. We're also going to have a conversation about LeBron, the billionaire ball player. But before we get to any of that, it is Thursday, so we're going to have our Black in the Day news. Black in the Day, it was. We're still working on that theme song. Okay. Black in the Day news brought to us by Sweetheart. Sweetheart, what we got today?
So today we will be reading from a Jet magazine. You want to show us?
Oh, yeah.
I think that issue is actually promoting the beginning of Sister Sister. This came out in April 1994. So
before the silk press.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a whole spread editorial situation about the show.
Shout out to my people, Jet.
But we're not going to be reading about them.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, we're going to be reading about Marvin Gaye.
Okay, let's get Marvin. Let's get it.
Okay, 10 years after Marvin Gaye's death, fans still wonder what's going on. 10 years after his death, the words and music of Marvin Gaye are still as relevant and popular as ever. Gaye was known to mix social messages in his music, including some of his biggest hits like What's Going On and Mercy, Mercy Me, The Ecology. His fans are still singing his songs and wondering what's going on in the black community. His music is just as hard-hitting and necessary today as it were years ago. Gaye, who was shot and killed by his father on April 1st, 1984, co-wrote What's Going On in 1971 and addressed the social ills of the day: war, poverty, violence in the black community, police brutality, and the breakdown of the black family. All of these problems are still very much with us today, and in a very real sense, Gaye was a man who was way ahead of his time, fans say. Gaye's widow, Janice Gaye, said, "The key to his enduring popularity is the message in his music. I think a lot is due to the lyrical content. A lot of the things that Marvin spoke about in his music are just as relevant, if not more relevant today." Should I stop there?
Oh, keep going. Give us another parry.
Okay. On the What's Going On album, he spoke about ecology and all of the other subject matter. "The state of the world is so much worse today than it was then," she said. Marvin's music was also optimistic, she pointed out. "People believe him when he pleads in What's Going On. We've got to find a way to bring some love in here today." Said Janice, "People want to cling to that. When they listen to What's Going On, Save the Children, and Mercy, Mercy Me, it's a reminder that we all have so much to do spiritually that it gives people something to hope for, something to hold on to."
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, as you were reading that, not only did Mercy, Mercy Me come in my head, oh, mercy, mercy me, but also, okay, take away, if you will, for a moment, take away the vocal quality and his iconic songs. Mm-hmm. Do they make artists like Marvin Gaye anymore? Is the social problem, social awareness song artist, is that still a thing? Are there still artists out here being like, oh, save the children? Okay. Don't burn down the trees? Or is that corny now?
All I can think of is like maybe the 2000s, 2010s at the very latest. And then I'm thinking of like Black Eyed Peas or the Just Stand Up, when they had all the female singers doing it was like 20 of them or whatever.
Okay.
And they made that song together. Yeah. But that's the last thing I can think of that. I mean, but there are a few artists who do it, but it's more nuanced. Like, it's not as overtly like, we got to save the planet, save the children. It's like the song I was listening to the other day, Infinity song. Mm-hmm. The song is called Sinking Boat, but they're talking about like basically we're in a sinking ship right now. So it's kind of, it's more in a metaphorical sense.
Do they have to be metaphorical? Because to be direct would be, I guess that's my question. Like, is that still a thing? Is that still a viable product to have the "Let's Save the World" song and the proceeds from this song go to saving the people in the rainforest or whatever the fuck it is?
I feel like it should be. I think that's what we need. Especially right now. Is it viable though? I don't know if it would be popular, but
yeah. Do you see that song going off on TikTok? You see that bumping through the streets of Instagram Reels and Blue Sky and Flickr and all the other places that Roland Martin named the other day?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's just judge it ourselves. Let's just say, I don't know, Lil Yachty and Lil Durk and 21 Savage and the Migos, with the two Migos left, they come out with a "Stop the Violence" song. What's your immediate reaction? And Young Thug in there too. What's your immediate reaction to the "Stop the Violence" song?
I would be a little confused.
Why? Because they rap about violence?
Yeah. So I would say, I would only believe it if I see, changed action or behavior or whatever, or like changed subject matter going forward. Otherwise, it would feel like a cash grab. It would feel very gimmicky, which I think would turn people off because it would be like, they don't mean this shit.
Well, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, didn't Boys in the Hood participate in one of these Stop the Violence campaigns? Like in the late 80s, early 90s, there'd be these Stop the Violence music videos. MC Hammer, Boys in the Hood, Ice-T, all these people who were, the pioneers of gangster rap. They were also trying not to bring violence into the street. Yeah. Would the thing that changed over time was our tolerance for hypocritical behavior, for oxymoronic statements, for Boys in the Hood to be the pioneers of gangster rap, but also be the individual saying, "Hey, don't bring that to the streets."
Yeah.
Is our tolerance for that waned? Does that mean that we don't allow individuals to be, I guess, humanistically violent and then also humanistically saviors?
I think so.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Let's play the other side of the game. If Marvin Gaye popped up today and created these iconic songs and had this iconic voice, and then he came out with a song that was like, "Save the Children, Mercy, Mercy Me," do you think his cultural credits would decrease? Do you think people would be like, oh, you cheat on your wife? Oh, you married a 16-year-old. What you mean save the children? Look like you doing your job. You look like you saving the children yourself or whatever.
Wait, the question is, do I think it would?
Do you think people would accept his mercy, mercy me, even if he had his...
Probably not. Yeah. I think we're a lot less forgiving now.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like we hold people accountable more now. Yeah.
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 All right, cool. All right, cool. We appreciate you, Jet Magazine. This Black in the Day news. It's always good to reflect on the things that happened before. You said April 1994.
Yeah, and it's crazy because everything that they were talking about, that he was talking about, is still happening now.
Yeah.
31 years later.
And of course it is, you know.
Right.
Capitalism ain't changed, so of course the problems that capitalism... Ooh, excuse me. The problems that capitalism induces, of course, doesn't change.
Right.
Sheesh. All right.
We got Jada in the house.
Jada's in the house.
Hey,
Jada.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, let's do this. Let's talk about our next thing. Now, to the people who were here on Tuesday, this might sound like a repeat, but we have deleted the episode, so it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen. So here we are today. But I have to make some disclaimers first. I am a LeBron James hater. Certified. I took a test on the internet, matter of fact, in 2012. And they asked you a series of questions. You remember 2012 when they have all those viral quizzes and whatnot on the internet? Yeah, BuzzFeed and whatnot. And I am a certified LeBron hater. I think I scored 20 out of 20 on the test. And to be a certified hater, you have to know enough to know that you don't like it. Right? You don't like I don't understand these haters that hate things but then are ignorant of the subject. If you want to be a true hater, if you want to be a true dissenter, you got to know what you're dissenting against. Yeah. I've been watching videos of I've been watching YouTube videos of people tearing down Matt Walsh's movie, which was called Am I a Racist? In which one of the biggest critiques of the movie from Matt Walsh's Am I a Racist was, this fool actually doesn't know what his opposition is. Here he is touting anti-racist points and he thinks he's tearing them down, but in actuality he's reinforcing them because he is not really humanized and understands and comprehends his subject. Mm-hmm. Therefore, he doesn't know how to answer the question of am I a racist, which is yes. Right. Because he does not quite understand his opposition. I understand my opposition. I do not like LeBron James. I have never liked LeBron James. When they put LeBron James on the cover of Sports Illustrated back in 2003, 2004, something like that, and they said, witness the next best thing, the next great thing, I said, poppycock. Mm-hmm. I disagree. And the reason I disagreed at 13 is because I don't like people who are naturally gifted at things. I don't like people whose bodies are genetically dispositioned for certain things, right? I don't like that LeBron James, for the first 12 years of his career, just threw his body at people and that made him great at basketball. Bullshit. I don't care. Give me a nigga with a bad knee. Give me a man who's too short, too tall, too skinny, too fat, too dark, too light, too nappy-headed, too fine-haired for the position, and let me see his excellence. I don't want to see no naturally good-bodied person barreling down the paint, putting people on posters. That ain't exciting to me. Mostly because I don't think I was born, you know what I'm saying, with the genetic disposition to be great. I had to work for this motherfucker. I had to earn it.
I'm at the point in my body. That's what you said.
That's what I said. I'm at the point in my body where I have to make some choices. Probably ain't got to make no choices. Naturally gifted motherfucker. Do you hear the hate? Do you hear it? So I have not been a fan of LeBron James. And as we enter into this sports conversation that we're about to have, I wanted to give a disclaimer because I actually don't like talking about sports on this particular platform. I read in a feminist, womanist perspective that when men talk about sports is actually a way to try to divide conversations. I want to try to stay away from the sports conversation as much as possible so we can talk about LeBron James, the billionaire basketball player. You can put up the first joint, sweetheart. If you didn't know, LeBron James was selected to his 20th All-Star appearance. LeBron James' 20th All-Star appearance was supposed to happen in Golden State over this past weekend. LeBron James showed up to the game an hour beforehand. Did not have that shit on, as you can see in this video. So he wasn't prepping. He wasn't trying to get fly. He wasn't trying to represent himself in a certain way. Didn't dress down. And then an hour before the game started, he's at the press conference and he says, "Oh, by the way, I'm not playing today. My foot hurt. My ankle hurt." Now, mind you, LeBron James played last night. This nigga was dancing on the court. This nigga was taking one foot shots. This nigga was dunking. This nigga was having a good time last night. But somehow the weekend prior, he had to shut it down because, you know, the season is more important. I got to preserve my body. And so, as I've said on this show before, when we are in our trend forecasting ideology, the first time you see something, it's a hunch. The second time you see something, it's evidence. The third time you see something, it is a trend. The first time I've seen something was when I noticed, when we had this conversation about the All-Star game, when we had this conversation about the NBA, what's been happening over the last 20 years is there has been a perceived decline in interest, a perceived decline in participation, and an incline of frustration from the fans in the game of basketball because they feel like fans feel like for the last 20 years, since Kobe put down his boots, since Jordan put down his boots before him, since Magic Johnson put down his boots before him, since Dr. J put down his boots before him, that the individuals in the last 20 years have put brand over their own legacy. They believe themselves to be more popular than the league, more popular than their peers, more popular than the sports themselves. Therefore, for the last 20 years, and you've seen this conversation probably, why isn't LeBron James in a dunk contest? It's because LeBron James is afraid to lose publicly and also embarrass himself or embarrass the brand that he has built. He is far more interested in self than he is in the league. And what's interesting to me when I see this all-star situation, LeBron James standing next to some of the greatest players in modern history at the all-star game, dressed down, also holding a basketball because he wants to be in the front and center situation. Your ass should be on the side. Jada, you know, if you got the alternative outfit on, get your ass to the side of the photo.
Right.
We got on all blue, you got on this bitch ass beige, and you standing in the middle, get your ass to the side. You know this.
He got this bland ass outfit on.
You got this bland ass outfit on. You ain't even got that shit on. It ain't fuzzy. It ain't got no textures. You ain't got no gold on. Shoes whack. White t-shirt. No chain. Hat backwards. Can't see the logo. Boy, you're bland. Get your ass to the side of this damn photo. Can you hear the hate? So LeBron James shows up to the All-Star game instead of telling the commissioners, instead of telling the All-Stars beforehand when he knew he was going to sit out, he waited an hour before the game so that another player could not take his place. And so now in my mind, this is a trend. LeBron James don't want to do a dunk contest. He's considered brand over legacy. That's evidence. The second time I see it, LeBron James doesn't want to go to the All-Star, doesn't want to play. That to me is evidence. Now we are in search for a trend. And so, sweetheart, what occurred to me when I'm thinking about LeBron James putting brand over legacy, limiting the opportunities of others, I'm like, for the last 20 years, we've been searching why there's been a falling interest in the game while this other individual is literally a billionaire from the game. We've been looking for the problem. Is LeBron James the problem? Now, I'm a hater. Okay. Well, okay. I'll try to take that out. But I'm thinking, like, there's a reason why LeBron is the first billionaire basketball player. And as this country is under siege from a billionaire, we know that billionaires aren't created ethically.
Yeah.
So is it possible that LeBron James is bringing his billionaire bullshit to the basketball court? It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
You know what we need? We need a checklist. We need a checklist because BeMo is a hater. Maybe we need an objective list to see that we can read from and see if LeBron James is participating in these billionaire bullshit tactics and bringing them onto the basketball court. I feel like Stephen A. right now. LeBron James. Let's bring up the list real quick. So let's see what we got going on. My man, Brewjack said we breaking up on Instagram.
Oh, no.
It sounds good like that. It is what it is. Oh, that's Randy B. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the Billionaire Ball Player. Let's see. Exploitative labor practices. To achieve such immense wealth, many billionaires run companies that may engage in practices like low wages, poor working conditions, and resistance to worker rights, essentially relying on the exploitation of their workforce to maximize profits.
Sweetheart, I don't know if you know this, but there are only 2 leagues with a salary cap. Mm-hmm. And that means there are only 2 leagues in which there is a cap in which these players can make. These teams are worth billions of dollars, but I believe the salary cap for a player in the NBA is $60 million a year. That means that there is an owner out there who's generating billions of dollars of revenue off the likeness and the labor of these individual players and then capping them at $60 million. Now that sounds $60 million. Like if you and I got $60 million right now, that'd change our world.
Yeah.
But when we think about the juxtaposition of labor versus value, $60 million versus $1 billion ain't shit for real.
Right. It's a drop in the bucket.
It's a drop in the bucket. And guess who want to be an NBA owner when they lead a league? What's the next one, sweetheart?
Tax avoidance. Billionaires often use complex financial strategies to minimize their tax burden, depriving society of revenue that could be used for public services.
Another way that these billionaires use tax avoidance is they create foundations. They support nonprofits. They create nonprofits to help lower their taxable income so they can avoid taxes. Mm-hmm. But as you know, as we talked about on this show, I always felt like nonprofits are just the pharmaceutical companies of social goods. We are piecemealing out solutions when we could just solve it. We know that world hunger costs, $2 billion? We could just solve it. But instead what we'll do, we'll give out $20 at a time. Bowls of soup at a time. Mm-hmm. Call it nonprofit. Reduce my own taxable income, which could help more people, by providing the least viable solution to a social cause. Keep going. All we got to do is look up to see if LeBron James has a foundation, which I believe there is a LeBron James Foundation. Yeah. Didn't he start a public school? Didn't that public school, hasn't it nobody passed a math standardized test in 6 years or some shit like that? 2 years I might be if I'm being fair.
But still.
Interesting, but I bet you had taxable income lower, got that billionaire status. What's the next one, sweetheart?
Market manipulation. Some billionaires may use their wealth to gain monopoly power in certain markets, allowing them to set prices artificially high and limit competition.
So because this has happened over the weekend, it's been 4 or 5 days now, I've heard all types of conspiracy theories of why LeBron James actually sat out of the All-Star game. One of them was he didn't like the format.
The what?
He didn't like the format of the All-Star game. So in order to protect his brand, to manipulate the market per se, he didn't participate. Mm-hmm. And then in that bland-ass, beige-ass outfit stood in the middle like he doing something. Get your ass to the side, LeBron. The hell?
Also, he does have a foundation. It's called the LeBron James Family Foundation.
Of course it is.
Right. Yeah.
That's all. Okay. What's the next one?
Environmental impact. The lifestyles of billionaires, including private jets and lavish spending, contribute significantly to carbon emissions and environmental damage.
You think LeBron got a private jet?
Probably, more than likely.
If you had to guess, there are 41 away games that the Lakers have. Mm-hmm. We'll call it 41 minus 8 is 33. Because 8 of his away games are still in LA because they play the Clippers, which is right across the street.
Okay.
Might be the same building. I think it's a different building now, but it's not far. Anyway, LeBron James has 33 away games. Of those 33 away games, how much do you think this billionaire basketball player is getting on the team plane?
I was gonna say maybe if they go overseas, but I don't know.
I think that answers our question. What's the next one?
Political influence. Due to their immense wealth, billionaires can exert significant influence on political decisions, often lobbying for policies that benefit their businesses at the expense of the wider public.
So I mentioned before that the NBA has been having a waning interest problem. And so the new commissioner of the NBA, it's not new anymore, but the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, has implemented some new policies that includes an extended playoff, that includes a different NBA all-star format, that includes a mid-season tournament. Who do you think has pushed back against all three of these changes?
LeBron.
What's the last one?
Income inequality. The existence of billionaires, especially when contrasted with widespread poverty, exacerbates the issue of income inequality, creating a large gap between the rich and the poor.
So, we have read what are these 6 ways that billionaires are by existence unethical. Just looking at the 6, and maybe the Wake and Bake with BeMo Nice can help us. Looking at these 6 things, I have to ask you a very honest question. I have to devoid myself from the question because I am a LeBron certified hater since 2012. 2003, but they didn't have a test in. 2012 was when I took the test. Looking at this checklist, I have to objectively ask, if LeBron, I don't know, if LeBron inhabits 3 of these unethical billionaire positions, I have to at least say he's bringing some of that bullshit billionaire practices onto the basketball court. Objectively. I don't know if you've invested yourself into the LeBron James, if you're a LeBron James hater, if you're a neutral, but from your perspective, lady of the house, does LeBron James tick off at least 3 of these boxes?
For sure. Environmental impact, political influence, income inequality. But now looking at this, and now that we found out he does have a foundation, for sure, tax avoidance. I know he avoided some taxes and market manipulation. So
yes.
Yeah.
So I put out this opinion on Threads, of course, because I'm no longer on Twitter. And can you guess some of the responses? Just want you to guess them.
Everybody calling you wrong. I don't know. Saying it. Well, calling you a hater.
I got hater. I got dick rider. I got glazer.
Who are you?
I got female.
Damn.
I got sensitive. I got why you crying? I'm like, what? I made a statement. Like, you know.
Who are you glazing?
I don't know. I guess LeBron. I guess I'm both glazing and dick riding someone that I hate.
Right.
And hating all at the same time. We got to get our nomenclature together because, like, these different classifications of disagreement are crazy to me. But it is my belief that LeBron James has brought his billionaire bullshit onto the basketball court. And I know these are 20, 30, 40, 50 millionaire, 50 million a year people, but they still represent a labor class. They still represent a proletariat to a certain degree. Yeah. And the fact that LeBron James thinks he's above them and can put the league, the game, the responsibility of marketing said product, he can put that to the side for his own benefit while he reaps billions. Little bitch made to me.
Yeah. They're actively putting their bodies on the line.
Yeah. But your foot hurt while this motherfucker was dancing. This shit was crazy. I wish I had that video. This nigga was going off. He wasn't preserving his ankle and foot before the game. But, you know, I guess you got to serve your master and yourself before you serve others.
Damn, that's a little bit of a crab in a barrel mentality.
Yeah.
Separating yourself from the whole as if you're different.
Yeah.
Better than
Yeah, because I'm LeBron James. I've been doing this for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm the great one. I'm the best.
Yeah.
I'm number one. Everybody's watching because of me. So, of course, I got to show up to the All-Star game. If I don't show up, people won't even watch at all.
Do people watch?
Yeah, people watch, man.
I did.
You know, my damn James. My damn James. You know, my damn nerves, LeBron James. Still rooting for you, though. Because, you know, we root for everybody black around here. Let's do this, sweetheart. It is a special episode today. All right, it is Black History Month. We are coming down to the last 8 days of Black History Month. Our good partners at Khalifa Kush have come in and they want to support. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch this special presentation from the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. We're going to watch it. I want you to make some comments. We're going to make some comments here after the break, and then we're going to tell you how you can be involved in this wonderful project with our partners, Khalifa Kush. We'll be right back with more Wake and Bake with BeMo. Wake and Bake with BeMo. Free my niggas, yeah.
Good afternoon, Flint. How y'all doing out here? Welcome home. Michael's home. Can I get a round of applause for Michael? I just wanted to say happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. I introduce you to the sentence of Michael Thompson.
Oh, man.
The story of Michael Thompson is one unlike most that we've ever heard. It deals with a subject matter that is going through its own evolution from a legal standpoint. Without further ado, Mr. Michael Thompson.
I want you to get in the car with me for a minute. I want you to take it through a journey up to this point.
For the last 11 years, I've been Michael's point person while he was in prison up until today. Michael's first words to me were, "Dee Dee, I need your help." It was like a spirit that spoke to me.
It was the day he walked out of those prison gates. He said, "Enough is enough." The voices in my head, I'm not leaving them behind.
It's important for you to hear the names of the ones I'm fighting for.
Rudy Gamo, Keith Stinson, Andre Green, Ricardo Farrell, Horace Peterson, Mark Barron,
Corey McCullough, Donald Williams, Henry Hentz, Leroy Washington, Philo Hunt, William Hunt, Mr. Robert Cannon. Unfortunately, we've lost Robert.
We're putting commutations for all of these people before Governor Whitmer, and if he doesn't sign them, these people can never get out. They'll be behind bars forever, and it's wrong. We can't throw these lives away.
Michael's injustice, 42 to 60-year term of incarceration for marijuana, is one of the wildest injustices I've seen. While he remained caged halfway through a third decade, the business of recreational marijuana was booming. And the fact that clemency exists acknowledges that the harms of the system can't be corrected always by the system.
Every daughter needs their father. Get out and vote. Stop sitting down and vote.
Michael Miko Thompson is my maternal uncle. The state of Michigan is the worst state in the country for sentencing. We have to understand we are the justice in which we seek.
I want to speak to the young people. And I'm telling you what's real. I changed my life. You can change yours as well.
All right, welcome back to Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah. I really hope y'all enjoyed that video from the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. I'm trying to figure out how honest should I be in this situation. Fuck it, we'll be completely honest. So I had a conversation. I was in the midst of our sponsorship outreach for the show. I had an interesting conversation with the marketing folks over at Khalifa Kush, and we entered into a very honest conversation about what exactly is Black History Month. Lady House was listening along, but it turned into a very interesting conversation because one of the questions that always gets asked about Black History Month is, what is Black History Month? Why is it in February? Why is it the shortest month? Yeah. And without shaming people for their lack of momentum of memory as to why, the answer is quite simply, our man Carter G. Woodson wanted to create a week, Negro History Week, that celebrated the history of Black folks. Yeah. And it was centered around the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. And to me, if you look just at the two individuals whose birthdays are February 12th, February 14th, I think Frederick Douglass is on February 14th. If you just look at those two individuals and try to put yourself in the position of Carter G. Woodson, which, if you didn't know, even before Negro History Week, black folks were celebrating Frederick Douglass's birthday as if it was a Black History Day.
Yeah.
Right, so it was a Black History Day informal, then it became a week, then it became a month. But when you think about just the juxtaposition of Lincoln and Douglass and then creating a Negro History Week, what is the thing that is the commonality between these two individuals? Lincoln and Douglass. It's liberation.
Yeah.
It's freedom. And so in having this conversation with the folks over at Khalifa Kush, we were trying to set up some type of marketing video series in which we would do kind of like a drunk history, something like y'all had seen in our in my Mary McLeod Bethune video before, where we take a very serious subject and we try to make it light and we try to make it digestible for people to ingest. But in our conversations about what Black history is, it became very clear to me that me and the people at Khalifa Kush, we have a different responsibility outside of pure entertainment. We have to be advocates for liberation. Right. Khalifa Kush is the highest profiting marijuana brand owned by a black person. I think last year they cleared something like $40-50 million in sales of cannabis for Khalifa Kush. And at the same time, as we saw in this video at the Michael Thompson Clemency Project, at the same time that we see a Khalifa Kush with all these high sales marks, all of these history-making events for being a cannabis company, we also have people like Michael Thomas who were in jail for 25 years over marijuana charges. I don't give a fuck if you were selling tons of marijuana. Ain't nothing in marijuana worth 25 years.
Right.
Now that it's been legalized by certain states, and Colorado is making so much money, they're giving money back to citizens. They're making so much money, they cut the school day to 4 days. They've made so much money in the education system in Colorado that they've actually figured out, you know what, we don't have to teach that much. We good. Same thing happening in Michigan. But the Michael Thompson Clemency Project, in partnership with Khalifa Kush, they're doing something awesome this Black History Month. What I need you to do, I need you to go to khalifakush.com to shop their apparel. Everything that you buy from Khalifa Kush apparel, 20% of the proceeds go to the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. So there are often questions about what can we do to help the direct liberation of our people. Wiz Khalifa's kind of figured it out. The people of Khalifa Kush have already figured it out. You already smoking weed. You already want to be dripped out. Right. You already want to look good. You already want to smoke the best. Shit, fuck with us.
3-1.
Fuck with us, we'll give a little, not a little, fuck with us, you give 20% over to our people at the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. Here are some of the things that they're interested in the advocacy side. They want to end trap sentencing. That is the type of sentencing in which you walk into an interrogation room and somehow you get charged up for higher crimes. They want to get rid of that shit. Yeah. They want to reinstate good time served. They want to eliminate habitual offender status. They want to reform felony murder and firearm charges. They want to reform the Michigan Department of Corrections and all Department of Corrections food conditions, medical care, and prison treatment. And they want freedom for all cannabis prisoners in Michigan. To me, this is very possible. This is very plausible. Yeah. Right? And we just need a little support. I've always said that the end point of what we do here on this show is not consumerism, it is community. How do you become part of this community? Support Khalifa Kush and apparel. 20% of your proceeds to Khalifa Kush go directly to the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. Definitely go check them out. Definitely go learn more about the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. And shout out to our people over at Khalifa Kush.
Was I supposed to put this picture up of?
Yeah, well, we could put it up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think what makes Michael Thompson a very interesting individual is that he is layered, right? You seen him in his Versace in this video, right, but he was also an artist. Mm-hmm. Like Wiz is an artist. Yeah. We're the people who are trying to support and protect artists who are in trouble. It is people like the Michael Thompson Clemency Project, which is a whole advocacy-based group. It is in his name, but they are supporting the voices. They are acting as the voice for the voiceless in these situations. Definitely go check them out. Check our people out at Khalifa Kush. And we're going to get back to the show for real.
Using your platform for good.
Gotta use it. Got to. You think we just out here playing? You know, a nigga love an ad. But I love me some community a bit more. Community. Let me finish rolling.
LeBron.
Huh? Right. Right. Shot at LeBron. LeBron would never do something like this. Never. All right, sweetheart. How'd that go? Was that good?
That was good.
All right. You think I can send that over?
I think so, yeah.
All right, for sure. If we, this is the first step of a prolonged relationship with the people over at Khalifa Kush. They want to be involved with do the Wake and Bake for BeMo nights know? Do they know that we bringing it back? But they want to be involved with the Wake and Bake Fest. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more details about the Wake and Bake Fest. You know I love to tell y'all things informally before I tell everybody else. So it's coming. Bring your ass. Take off on 4/19. Now, we found out that 4/20 is actually Easter morning. And let me know if I'm wilding. My Wake and Bake with BeMo nights. We can't have no cannabis festival on Easter morning.
No.
Right? When you're supposed to be doing your Easter speeches, we blazing up. Is that right?
No. Is that right?
Don't feel right. You know what, though? I want to roll this blunt. And I kind of want to hear some Joe Law. I ain't going to hold you, sweetheart. Hit me with the Won't Change, and we'll be right back with more Awake and Ache with BeMo. Go get your Khalifa Kush Parado.
Because I'm insecure. I'm afraid they won't like me if they know who I really am and the shit I really do and the shit I really like that make me weird to them. How would you like somebody to know who you really are? You want to tell them, you really want to tell people who you are, but something's holding you back. That's why you do it in such a crazy way. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's something you want people to know, but you don't like it about yourself. You hope they don't judge
Sadly, you won't change. If like the traffic jam, you alright. You'll be like this in your old age. You tell yourself you gon' stay.
This is what the young folks do, right? This is what they do.
Stop.
This is what they do.
Like that.
That's what they do. They don't do this. They don't do this. That's not what y'all do. That's not what y'all doing. All right. I look crazy though. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. That's all right. But I look crazy. All right, for sure. Y'all don't look crazy. I look crazy. All right. I need you to. Okay. Anyway. Let's get back to the show, sweetheart. All right. We have actually a pretty important topic that we want to end today's show on. We have a very interesting no trauma rule here on the show, and we know, in case you haven't, I didn't put that up, did I? I told y'all this very quickly at the end of the show, but we know that the strategy for Donald Trump is to bombard us with things that are impossible, confuse us around processes to undo this impossible situation while they sneak in other nefarious government action. Mm-hmm. We know this. And actually, maybe on Tuesday, we should have a deeper dive into what's going on with Donald Trump, the philosophies of Curtis Yarvin. Have y'all heard this name before? You will start to hear it more. I'm starting to see that some of even the black content creators are starting to figure out who this Curtis Yarvin is. And so maybe we'll have a different conversation about that. But something interesting happened last Friday that I think we should have our eyes on. Our Wake and Bake with BeMo night, Coco Chanel, Shamiko sent me this video. Let's watch this video. It's about 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll have some context around what's going on with this new definition of discrimination, and then a slight movie review.
Okay.
So I just did a whole IG Live where I read a letter from the Acting Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights at the Department of Education. His name is Craig Traynor. This letter was written on February 14th, 2025, and I'm mad nobody sent it to me, and I found out tonight. And this letter is really important because it basically redefines the word discrimination. It makes discrimination and diversity synonymous. If for any reason your institution uses race in decisions pertaining to admissions, hiring, promotions, compensation, financial aid, scholarships, prizes of any sort, administrative support, discipline, housing, graduation ceremonies, and all other aspects of student, academic, and campus life, then under the current interpretation of a Supreme Court decision that the Department of Education uses, not that we all use, not that the Supreme Court uses, but if the department uses a interpretation of a decision by the Supreme Court, we now consider everything that I just listed, if you use race a part of it, illegal. And let me just say, the Department of Education cannot become the police. And the acting assistant secretary is not the police or decision maker. But he does stress in this letter that if you get caught doing any of the things that I have listed based off of race, we're going to pull federal funding from you. And worse, we have created a discrimination complaint form. And we want everybody across the country to use this form if they feel discriminated against. Because if this administration loves doing anything, they love to empower other people to be police officers as well, especially against communities of color. And so they are giving us 14 days as of when the letter was written, which if you do the math, means March 1st. In other words, you can continue to celebrate Black History Month because the White House has already said it's not acknowledging Black History Month. So we're giving you the rest of Black History Month on your campuses to celebrate Black History Month. But after that, on March 1st, we're going to do an evaluation of everybody in all the schools. We're going to take complaints and we're going to cut your funding because what you're doing around race is illegal. They said that DEI was smuggling racial stereotypes and explicit race consciousness into everyday trainings, programs, and disciplines. So anything around ethnic studies, Black studies, all of that, gone. This also to me means NAACP chapters, gone. Sorority Greek organizations, gone. So now we got to think about the relationships of power so that we can respond to this letter. The people who matter in this moment are students across the country, especially students who have the ability to take risk. And college students right now are forming a national student organization called the United States Student Association. You can find their handle in the comment section. Follow them so you can find out how to support them because they're going to DC to fight back.
So that's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
The Department of Education is interpreting the Students for Fair Academics versus Harvard case, the same case that's at the base of the National Center for Public Policy Research and their anti-DEI claims. They're using the same interpretation to say that any mention of Black, any consideration of race to help give out prizes and determine winners and determine recognition, that is now deemed illegal to the Department of Education. And that 14-day window is actually turned into 48, was it 48 hours?
Wait, really?
Was turned into a 48-hour threat. I think that 48-hour threat starts today.
Damn.
And so the reason why I started this conversation, there are a couple of reasons why I started the conversation. So one of them is that this is illegal.
Yeah.
What Donald Trump is doing is illegal, and what he has been trying to do, which is replace different civil rights departments, the FBI Civil Rights Department and the Department of Education Civil Rights Department, which are all Black created, or at least created through Black issues. He's trying to replace them with more white people. But what happens is that judges and different state attorneys, they end up blocking or freezing some of these acts of Donald Trump. Now, what's crazy is this happened last Friday. Here it is Thursday, and there still hasn't been a block. Now, I've seen a block on federal freezes. I've seen a block on U.S. aid. I've seen a block on the things happening in the Departments of Transportation. I've seen a block on Elon Musk having access into Social Security situation, but I have not seen much noise or not much of an attempt to block this very racist act to try to limit the acknowledgement of race to help settle the playing field. And to be honest with you, sweetheart, I consider myself someone who has a pretty strong momentum of memory. I don't remember none of this shit happened before.
No.
And what's funny is we started watching a documentary. We started watching Sly Lives, The Burden of Black Genius. And what was interesting is, you can put up that picture. Not the video, just a picture.
Is this okay?
I'm not going to give it away.
Okay.
What's interesting about Sly Lives is they take us through the life of Sly Stone from Sly and the Family Stone, right? They take us through the life of Sly Stone and reveal to us that before there was Prince, there was Sly. Right? Before Parliament, there was Sly, that the creator of this funk movement, this creator of this sound that you hear in the 70s and the 80s is actually Sly Stone.
Even Janet Jackson.
All of these things come from hip hop itself, might be 20% in nature Sly Stone.
Right.
And what's interesting is, so they cover a time of the 70s, and this is right after Jim Crow. And people are having different reactions. There's the integrationist reaction, there's the segregationist reactions, there's the Black Panther Party, there's the MOVE organization, there's the Rainbow Push Coalition. There are a whole bunch of individuals with different perspectives of how we move together after the law of Jim Crow has changed. And it is clear to me, sweetheart, that had we existed, had Wake and Bake with BeMo been on in 1975, it is very clear to me we'd have been eating Sly Stone's ass up. He'd have been like Jay-Z. He'd have been like Kevin Hart. He'd have been somebody we're going to talk about every season because I disagree with the philosophy. Now, I love you, but I disagree with your philosophy. So we just talk LeBron. He'd have been like LeBron. I love you, but I disagree with your philosophy. And I believe that you could be placing blackness in the cultural narratives of blackness in a different space, but that's just because we disagree. It's not my job to tell you how to be black. One of my first viral clips. Who am I to tell you how to live your black experience? Right. Who am I? I'm just a loudmouth on the internet, smoking a blunt. It's very clear to me in 1975, in season 1 of Wake and Bake with BeMo, we'd have been all up in Sly Stone's ass. And you know how I know? Play this clip real quick. Play this clip.
It's the first one?
There's only one.
Oh, I see.
It's getting much better now, though, because I make all my gigs.
Sly, would you book yourself? Is that it?
Yeah.
Well,
really, my manager books, but it's myself.
Would you do a movie if the right part came along? And
now I'm waiting on that.
You're interested in it?
I keep seeing scripts, but I don't think I fit in the scripts that I've seen.
What kind of character do you see yourself playing the first time out?
The star.
and you're the staree.
No, I had an idea for a movie. But as soon as I get somebody to get it all together.
What is the idea?
Well, should I say my idea? Somebody will steal my idea.
You've got to protect it, haven't you?
That's what I mean. No, I just had an idea where, I'll just say it, and if it happens, somebody else did it. If I don't have another idea, then I'm not creative. I got to deal with myself on that level.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a nice attitude.
I thought maybe that if there were a movie and the black people were, if it were, there's got to be people that's got black people, a movie that's got black people and white people in it. And it's got to deal with that. But on this level, the movie should be maybe 2009 or so. And it should be...
the year 2009.
Right, right. And it should show how it would be if, in fact, black people were the majority and these black people in this movie were not prejudiced. Since that seems to be the problem that I see, well, if the black people were the majority, what would they say? And everybody thinks, including most black people, that, they'd be the majority and they'd act like it. Like I believe that the majority of white people do, and they can't help that. They are. If you are, you lie to yourself if you don't act like you are.
You think that the majority of black people would not be prejudiced like the majority of white people are?
I think this would have a lot to do with the majority of black people at that time. To show a movie and to let it explain, it would be self-explanatory, I think.
Sly, you have a huge black following, and on top of that, you have all the middle-class white kids who also, I mean.
So that was Sly Stone, okay, basically saying that black folks are just as prejudiced as white folks, and to end racial discrimination, we both need to let it go, okay? All right, Sly. I mean, I'm not going to get in your ass today, baby. 1975, I'd have been in that ass, Sly Stone. What are you saying to me right now?
They can't help it.
But I'm bringing up, white people can't help discrimination. Stop playing with me, man.
You know they're not the global majority.
This ain't 1975.
Right. You're right.
We 50 years late.
Right.
But just know, Sly, if the energy is there, the energy is there. But I bring him up. I bring him up as he projects what he thinks the radical black future will be. I bring up Sly Stone in the form of this new wave and this new definition of discrimination because that was his raw reaction.
Yeah.
His reaction in 1973 to discrimination after seeing the Black Panthers and after seeing Jim Crow, after participating in both, his reaction was, I think this is wrong on both sides. Is he wrong? Absolutely. But I feel like I can say that with 50 years of context. In 1974, I might have been like, hey, maybe we do need to see some white boys and black boys on the stage together. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I know right now that ain't the solution because it ain't solved shit, but...
Right.
So I'm saying that to say we have this new definition of discrimination. The system has flipped up on us. The new definition of discrimination is the old definition of diversity. And it happened overnight. Damn. And they put out a 48-hour notice, a 14-day notice that turned into a 48-hour notice. And what I'm telling you is your HBCU is about to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. Your Fearless Fund, your NAACP chapter, your advocacy group, your local Prince Hall Masons, they're about to make a mistake. Because there have been ultimatums and there are binaries that are facing blackness. And blackness does not operate on binaries and ultimatums. We operate in process and form and in function. Right. And so I guess what I'm telling you is, look out. Because we are still going to have to find ways to create chances and opportunities for each other that are specific to each other, but we won't be able to use the language. So a good example is we saw Target change its DEI language to community and belonging. And everybody ate their ass up. Because they pulling out black products, they forcing black folks to make strange decisions about how they buy products and how they interact with their consumer activism. Mm-hmm. And specifically in the language, they took out the specific metrics that will measure success of this diversity, equity, inclusion. So now it's just community and belongings because we all just feel like doing community and belongings. And we learned from Martin Luther King and his death that the appeal to sentiment is not enough. You cannot just change the hearts and minds of racism. You have to change the systems of racism. Mm-hmm. At the same time, PBS did the same thing. PBS took down this DEI language, but replaced it with community belonging and kept the same metrics, keeping the same programs. But you have not seen for a boycott on PBS, have you?
Right.
Why? There are nuanced differences. The difference will be in the details. It will be on the corporate websites. It will be on the intranet. It will be in the small print. Your HBCU is going to say something like, oh, we always welcome all students. But do you remember having to be black to go to an HBCU? Right. I don't even remember if there was a black box on my Howard application.
That's a great point.
The only thing that designates an HBCU is not the fact that we divided ourselves away from PWIs, is that the existence of HBCUs were needed to balance out the discrimination happening at PWIs. Exactly. So then to turn that definition back on us and say that you can't exist, it don't make sense. We never said that you had to be black to go here.
Right.
We never said white students weren't involved. You go to HBC right now, you're going to see some white kids there. You're going to see some Latino kids there. Shout out to my girl, Joanna. Okay? You're going to see them. We can shout out to White Paul, who was selling Knicks out of Slow Hall. It's going to happen. But I feel like in order to publicly face this situation, you're going to see a lot of Sly Stone. You're going to see a lot of public integrationism, and I just don't want us to get caught up in that algorithmic trap of, oh, they doing it for white people, therefore it can't be for us too. I think we're going to have to play a game a little bit. And we're going to have to make a couple of mistakes. Maybe I have to dust off the black citizenship test. Maybe. Who are your thoughts?
Wait. So are you saying that? See, that's why I'm kind of a little bit stuck, because are you agreeing with Sly in a sense?
No, I think Sly is wrong.
Okay.
Well, wrong is harsh. I think you know what you know. And not that I'm agreeing. What I guess I am empathizing and humanizing his perspective in time and place. Because overnight, over like 6 years, society completely changed. Yeah. And with that change came violence and tumult. And I feel like that's happening to us now. Yeah. In 25 years, 50 years from now, someone's going to look at our choice and be like, oh, you made a mistake.
Right. True.
Oh, and maybe we'll talk about this Tuesday, but Trevor Noah's getting in some trouble right now because he's saying that maybe integration was a mistake. Oh. And we talked about this on the Plessy versus Zimmerman episode. There comes a point where you look at this ideological binary and you're like, oh, you should have done this. But what you're doing when you say you should have done this and placing it in a binary, you're dehumanizing a perspective of people who lived it in time.
That's true. Yeah.
50 years from now, somebody might say, why didn't you build your own Target? Today, my answer is, we don't need no fucking Target today. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't want no damn Target. Target is what you want? I can hear a nigga in 1962 saying, build my own bus company, I gotta get to work. What you mean, a bus company? We don't need no fucking bus company. We need the bus company we got to treat us with respect.
And then immediately after that, where are we gonna get the money? Well, how we go?
And where they gonna sit? And what they gonna eat on?
Exactly.
And how we gonna get there?
Right.
But we can say that specifically about the bus. We can say that in context because we look at the Winston-Salem Bus Company, which created Safe Rides specifically for black neighborhoods. The moment the bus companies became integrated, they could not sustain the bus line because they had to go too far outside of the black neighborhood to serve everybody. They eventually sold the Winston-Salem Bus Company to the city of Winston-Salem. Yeah. You only know that if you know the full context of the situation. And what I'm saying is we got an ultimatum on last Friday. Your HBCU might say something stupid or might not say nothing at all. Hoping, as I said earlier in the segment, hoping that a judge, hoping that an attorney general, hoping that an advocate is going to be like, hey, these other things were illegal. This can't be legal too. But it don't look that way. Don't look like we getting a Captain America. Shout out to Lincoln Heights. Shout out to Anthony Mackie. I ain't do my part. Damn.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. Yeah.
Do you think Howard will do anything? Do you think they'll take a stance, or do you think they'll just sit on the side?
Taking a stance would be like, we see your ultimatum and we reject it. That would be a stance. The neutral of the stance would be, we're not going to say nothing. We're just going to keep operating as we usually do. I think both of those things would be considered radical. Yeah. What I don't want to see is Howard be like, you know what, Trump, you got a point. Right. You got a point. Let's keep it equal so these white kids won't sue us. But what I also don't see is a slew of white kids applying to Howard.
I have heard that in recent years, there's a lot more white kids than ever before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they've gone from what, 2 to 12%?
Maybe, yeah, something like that. Don't really know what.
Then there's a separate conversation of, is even like formal education a positive for us? Is the university system still working for us? But you know, governance structure, social structure, 2 different conversations. We got any comments?
Jada says Abbott Elementary had episodes about the bus company in Philly recently.
Right.
They did.
They did. They did. My man Colin in the house.
Oh, hey.
What's up, Colin? Colin's in the house.
We also got the OK Household.
Hey, okay, household, what's up?
Morning.
Okay. They spell it right?
They just said peace and greetings, family.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. All right, you know what time it is, sweetheart. My voice, my throat a little dry, so I hope it goes well. You ready? It's time for the burning question for the Roach. Burning question for the Roach, yeah. Burning question for the Roach, yeah.
This question is actually.
No, I'm just silly as hell. That's all. That's all right. You just went on.
Right. I just looked at you.
Just looked at me and just like, all right, here we go.
It's actually in line with what we were just discussing.
What we got?
Do you think that HBCUs have the same importance and value currently as they did in prior eras?
Oh, you done fucked me up,
I'm going to
sweetheart.
say importance or value. Or importance
What's
and
the
value work.
importance and
It
value?
says importance / value.
Ooh, Sweetheart Jones. Tonight you came stumbling across my heart again. I sung. Ask the question again. Let my man Sly go too.
Oh. Do you think that HBCUs have the same importance / value currently as they did in prior eras?
Oh. Ooh. Okay. When we talk about HBCUs, we have to recognize that we are not talking about a monolith of academia here. This is a spectrum of education. And the spectrum exists between your private institutions that act like Ivy League schools, such as your Howards and your Spelmans and your Morehouses. And then you have schools that I would say act more like state schools. You got your Morgan States, your Tennessee States, your North Carolina A&Ts. All of these are fine educations and credited educations. Then you have schools that are more like direct to work facilities. Those are like your Bowie states. Those are your schools that are in your CIAA, right? Those are the schools that create your military professionals, your managers of warehouses. These are the individuals that I would say are the cream of the crop in the blue collar industry. Then you have another set of schools that's like your Morris Browns, your Delta State Community College, your Talladegas. These schools I feel like are the ones that people frown upon because they're not direct to work leadership positions. They're direct to work blue collar positions. These are your things that you get training in vocational, you get training in fish farming and welding, and I'm pretty sure now like AI prompting and dental assistants. These are HBCUs that exist in that realm. So it exists across this four position spectrum. And funny enough, there are 4 HBCU athletic conferences. The MEAC, the MEAC, the SEAC, the CIAA, and the SWAC. There we go. Come on. That would be on the Black Citizenship Test. Name the 4 athletic conferences. Anyway, funny enough, there are 4 conferences, and they kind of represent this spectrum that is education. Weirdly enough, you would think the answer to your question, you know what? I don't even want to answer that. The answer to that question might lead you to believe, if you were thinking traditionally, that maybe the lower 2 schools don't have as much need anymore. Maybe we don't need your Delta State Community College, home of the Fighting Okra, by the way.
Okay.
And maybe we don't need your Talladegas. Talladega is the same school that marched for Trump in 2016. Or your Mississippi Valley State University, which is the same school that marched for Trump in 2024. Maybe you don't need those situations. But what's occurring to me, especially when I watch Dr. Carr and Professor Hunter on Saturday mornings, what's occurring to me is that what happened in these elite institutions, what I will call the state universities and the private institutions, the Ivy Leagues, the HBCUs, what happened after the Black Studies movement that ended maybe like in the 70s. And then what happened after the, what I would call the cultural representative movement, which happened with A Different World in the 80s and the 90s. And then like starting in the early 2000s, around when I went to college, that type of education started to seem a little more gatekept, a little more, we're hoarding it to ourselves. The Black Studies movement, if you don't know, happened in the 1960s, and that's when students at Howard and at these Morgan State institutions started holding protests about we need Black perspective education at the school. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it was a big prolific thing. You could see it in the streets. It was part of the streetwear. Like people were wearing HBCU gear on sitcoms because it was part of the culture. We are jailbreaking, as you would per se, the academic experience in these institutions. But somewhere around the 2000s, when college began to boom in expense, you started to lock those things away. And so you might see some Black professors on Instagram and YouTube. Hillman Talk might be a pretty good example. Narrative is a great example. You might see these individuals. It's not the norm. I said before, when I did my underground research in 2009, I would get like chastised for quoting YouTube videos. I would get like, like what's that website you would do your bibliographies on? EasyBib. Yeah, I would go to EasyBib and I would see that there are all these things that you can quote as sources. I was like, fuck that. Yeah. I'm not reading 60 pages to use a paragraph. Are you crazy? I'm going to YouTube. Or what I would do is I would call the professor at Clark Atlanta, or I would call the professor at Morgan State, say, hey, I'm recording you, and that would be I ask him for the answer, and that would be my source. Because my professor's acting whack. You don't want to be recorded? Okay, whatever. I'm calling Bomani Jones's father, actually. I'm calling Dr. Jones at Clark Atlanta to get the answer, because you don't want to answer the question. Whatever. So that those things start to be gatekept. So to answer your question, if there's going to be a continued practice of making sure that elite Black education, or what I have labeled as elite Black education, is going to be siloed into these institutions purely for those institutions' sake, then weirdly enough, they have no purpose. You might as well be Stanford. You might as well be Harvard. You might as well be Brown. Do you have purpose in our liberation? No, because you're hoarding it to yourself. It don't free us. You're keeping it. It's a collective, rugged individualism. I don't need that. We don't need that. And funny enough, at the same time, as society seems to be building more labor force than it is building more managerial or even wealth class labor force or labored individuals, we're going to need more proper Black specific education as it comes to the things that we call blue collar, the things that we call, or the things I have labeled in this second tier of situations. So I feel like we need more infrastructure. We need to really develop and solidify the education that we see at Mississippi Valley State University, at Delta State Community College. And why would we do that, BeMo? They just marched for Trump. That's why.
Right.
These people have turned their back on them. When the last time you seen Howard connect with another HBCU that wasn't of like Howard's stature? Why Howard and Bowie State don't got no fucking, what's the thing between colleges?
Yeah, consortium?
Yeah, why ain't there a Howard Bowie consortium? Why does it feel like there's such a difference between this elite private institution and this publicly funded state institution?
Right.
Why do Howard folks hold their nose at Bowie State University, people? Have you noticed that? You notice you tell a nigga how you going to UDC, they look at you a funny way?
Yeah.
You mean community college? No, ain't no damn community college. They got a law school over there.
And they got a consortium with Howard now.
They do?
Yeah.
They better.
Yeah.
What's your answer to the question? What's the question again?
Do you think that HBCUs have the same importance / value currently as they did in prior eras?
some, but not all. And there needs to be a reinvigorated cultural moment for HBCUs. And maybe that's just me settling for the easier of the two options. But there needs to be as Dr. Carr and Karen Hunter say it when they talk about it on Narrative and Nubia, we need to jailbreak the university. And maybe we should stop using these Roman, Latin, ceremonial sources as the base of these institutions. What's up with these robes and these caps and gowns and these Latin letters? We can't have no Tosa, can't no Swahili.
Right. That is our what do you call it? Not the slogan,
The motto.
Yeah, the motto. Why is it in Latin?
Exactly. Why is it in Latin?
Right.
If anything, low key, it should be in Gullah.
Right.
If anything, it should be in Geechee. It shouldn't be in Latin.
Yeah.
Who you trying to impress? Who you talking to?
Who are you talking to?
Who you talking to? Huh. And also, Howard? Who's that? Spelman? Who's that? Spelman Rockefeller? Who? Y'all so elite, but it seems like that eliteness is only tied to interesting. All right. What are your thoughts, man?
I do think HBCUs, I'll say as a whole, have the same importance or value as it did in prior eras, specifically for the reason that they are institutions of higher learning for predominantly black students. Yeah.
Okay.
Just for that reason alone, yeah.
Just for their existence.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
I mean, yeah, they're supposed to be the safe space for black students, so yeah, I think they're necessary.
Okay. We got any comments?
No.
All right, then. We want to give a huge shout out to my people over at Stash Logics. Okay, Stash Logics, make sure you go check them out. Sustainable materials to keep your stash safe, smell proof. They look beautiful, and they're actually helpful for like the curation of your particular stash. As I announced before, we are going to be doing a Wake and Bake with BeMo Night talent show. Stay tuned for details. But in the meantime, definitely go check out my people at Stash Logics. They got some great products. And it's actually, I guessed it, and it's true. My favorite product of Stash Logics are these motherfucking instant matches. I love them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Go get you a 40 pack. Okay. We burnt today Bayberry. It is wonderful for your weed smoking experience. So again, definitely go check out Stash Logics, sustainable materials to keep your stash safe and smell proof. We want to give a huge shout out to our people over at Khalifa Kush. All right, go check out the apparel over at Khalifa Kush to give you 20% off. Not 20% off, I'm sorry. Definitely go check out my people over at apparel at Khalifa Kush. 20% of your purchase goes towards the Michael Thompson Clemency Project. We talked about it earlier in the show. A great project for Black History Month. Definitely go check that out. We want to give a huge shout out to the Washington Informer Bridge, WIBridgeDC.com, or at WIBridgeDC on all social media websites to get updated on all the journalistic sources that you need for the show. And if you do nothing, do this. Go subscribe to the New Blueprint Podcast. The New Blueprint newsletter. Oh my God, but the podcast don't exist yet. Definitely go check out the New Blueprint newsletter. BeMo Brown, that's Substack.com, $5 a month. If you need the scholarship, definitely let a nigga know. All right, we're gonna leave you with my man Detroit Rivers. Oh, can they see the purple light? Y'all know what that purple light mean? Do the people know what that purple light is?
I don't know.
We growing stuff, okay? And maybe that stuff might be ready for the Wake and Bake Fest. That'd be kind of cool. If y'all can watch it and then enjoy it later, that'd be cool. We're gonna leave you with my man Detroit Rivers with that Black Boy Joy. Shout out to our people, Joe Law. Shout out to my man Kendall and the Kendall Simple Kitten. I'm just gonna end the show. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Good morning.
Hold on. sometimes. Don't let this feeling slip away. Your city, yeah, happy feelings. Frank Beverly and Maine, don't be amazed. Find yourself, learn your joys and pains. Live your voice and sing. The sounds of your heart, don't you worry about a thing. And don't forget your lyrics. This is a reminder of joy every time you hear it. Just know that your birthright is joy. Smile, you can wear it contagious, won't you share it? Let love loose, don't fear it. It's that black boy joy.
Black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy say it again. One more time, get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy say it again. Where I was raised, black boys was being destroyed. I grew up a black boy, they had stole my joy. Nobody put on my neck, so I do it for Floyd. Do it for Tamir Rice and for the underemployed. For the ones that gave back, communicated, deployed. I wanna give you a rope so that you can aboard. I wanna give you a hope so that you can avoid having to be a black man without no black boy joy. So get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy say it again. One more time, get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy say it again. For us, it's easier to go to jail than to go to college. Rather us be entertainers than be getting knowledge. They funded our own genocide. The word is power. Killing niggas in every song. I think it's coward. Easier to act tough when you in doubt because the world incriminates us. Cause we in doubt. Are we afraid of our own kind? And it's really wild. I think they got us backwards. But I figured out it's easier to fit in than it is to stand out. So I'm black boy joy when I'm cruising around. And I'm black boy joy fresh hitting the town. And I'm black boy joy dancing cleaning the house. And I'm black boy joy when I go for a hike. Been black boy joy since I was riding a bike. My son black boy joy and that's crazy to me. I was miserable growing up, I really hated it, G. But the world is much bigger than I was able to see. So get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy say it again. One more time, get this black boy joy up on your brain. Let this black boy joy give you some game. Black boy joy get up again. And black boy joy through all the pain. And black boy joy say it again. Smile.